Hi and welcome to the 2025 Winnebago Minnie Winnie 26T. This is one of my personal favorite floor plans in the Winnebago's Minnie Winnie lineup. The 26T is going to be a nice, unique floor plan, and there's a couple things in this one specifically that I'd like to highlight with you. So, my name's Bear from McLean's RV, and we're sitting in the 26T right now. As you can see, I'm sitting on these new, comfortable recliners. They're going to sit out pretty well and nice. In this living room area, there's a few things to talk about. Yes, you have your recliners. You have the dinette, which does have seatbelts, so you can bring more guests with you. Plenty of ample storage space in here. But my favorite thing is, if you see where I'm sitting at, being in the recliner position, Winnebago was really smart with this floor plan. It's a 2-slide floor plan, but both slides, we've got one in the living room, I'm sitting on the slide right now, and one in the bedroom. Both the slides are going to be on what I like to call the driver's side or the off-door side. What that means in English for you, and the reason why that's great for this floor plan, is if you notice what I'm looking at, everything attention-wise and fun-wise is on your camping side or that side of the RV, and you have this nice, beautiful, large window, and you're going to face directly for that when it's just the two of you. If you're not entertaining and you want to sit, you're going to get the nicer view in this floor plan. That's great for once you're at the campsite. Now, dinette, I love what Winnebago does. A lot of people might not know, but Winnebago is actually a furniture company before they started building RVs. In addition to the fact that I like this new gray kind of upgraded interior on the actual sofa material, as you saw, I just spun that table. This is perfect if you've just got the two of you and you want to have a little bit more space between you. For reference point, I'm 5'10" and 190 pounds. This gives me plenty of space. Even if we wanted to have visitors, you can kind of do this little spin around on the inside. It's no longer too tight for me. I could spin back out, whether it's card games, whether it's just two people, or if you want to have 4 or 5 people sitting at this table, you have the ability to do it. As you saw, I can turn that around. Table is also removable. You can drop it back down onto the base and make this into a large sleeping area. Your recliners, as you saw in this RV that I'm currently sitting in, are an option, but the great thing is if you want more sleeping space, you could get the jackknife sofa instead. I personally prefer the recliners, but it all comes down to whether you want more ability for sleeping space or you want that comfort and creature comfort that Winnebago offers. Sitting behind me, you can see we do have over cab storage, as well as you can use that as a bunk system as well. If you're never going to use it as a bunk, some people will take that piece, either drop it down and make it permanent storage, or just take it out entirely and have more open head space. I love that Winnebago gives you the option. It's got the curtain for privacy if you do have guests or if you don't want to see what you're storing, as well as you do have your TV sitting up there for viewing, and again, that's going to be angled smartly and straight towards your recliners. Looking in the overhead area, you're going to see that Winnebago has a ton of storage. Now, the storage itself is easy to see in the videos, but one thing that you don't see in videos is going to come down to quality, right? So I kind of touched on it before, right? Winnebago was a furniture company before they ever made motorhomes, and cool thing on it is all of their cabinetry is going to be built directly into the frame. Unlike some of their competitors, that means that I can literally sit down here and I can lift myself up, and this is going to hold into the frame. Even if I go on the slide side, you'll see, again, like I said, I'm 5'10" and 190. If 190 pounds can be floating in here, imagine the security that you can feel with putting your stuff in this. It might shake or rattle if you don't put it down, but Winnebago has a lipped entrance in its cabinetry to help keep things from moving, and when these doors close, they're pretty nice and solid. In addition to that, one thing they do is Winnebago makes over 70%, really almost, of everything that you see in here. I think the true number could be 64%, I'll verify, but when you're looking at all of this, this is Winnebago parts. Now, they keep their parts for 10 years. I've been to Forest City, Iowa, and I've seen the factory, and literally it looks like a giant football field size warehouse times 10 that's stacked of just parts and accessories. They keep them for 10 years. So if you have like a quality issue down the road, say that you did bring those guests and visitors and maybe someone broke something, it does happen, you're able to call Winnebago and you can get these parts refashioned or just shipped. Even after 10 years, when they no longer have the parts on stock, it's something that they can remake because, again, they made it originally. Moving on to the kitchen area, you're going to see I like that they've kind of done this L-shaped style, tiny L on your kitchen space, right? They prioritize this model to be about your living space because most people who are camping don't spend a lot of time in the actual kitchen cooking. They use it more for storage, quick meals, and they use it for the ability to get back to their seat with their food and eating. You've got a great size fridge. This is going to be on the dual gas electric version, if I can open that correctly, which does mean that you can have it on the propane version if you don't want to run like full-on generator to power this. You do get a pantry, which I love. Winnebago's nice. They give you the pull-out drawers, as well as the fact that these are nice and deep so you can fit anything you really need in there. If that's not enough for you, right by the entry door you're going to have another closet. This one's fantastic because you'll see the shelves are actually movable. You can raise or lower them based on the size of items you have. You could use this as a further extended pantry if you have a lot of food, or you can use that as kind of a closet, secondary extra space for you. Back in the kitchen, you'll see you got plenty more storage. You got overhead, you've got drawers, you've got things all around your oven. Speaking of, even though this is only a 26-foot RV, you're still going to get an oven big enough to make cookies in, right? If it's something small, you're happy to cook it and you have the ability to do so. You still get your 3-burner stove, and because you do have your gas oven, it is going to be a normal microwave. This is not convection. All right, moving into the rear, you're going to see obviously we've got our control panel right here. You do have a generator on this one. It's going to go straight from your gas tank. The Minnie Winnies are all being built on Ford 7.3 liter V8. That's that new Godzilla engine. Plenty of power for this RV. Your tow capabilities, 5,000 to 7,500 pounds on the model. They're going to put about 7,500 as what it's rated for the hitch, but I recommend 5,000 as kind of being your max load that you're pulling behind this. Feel free to call us, I'll explain why. You do have both your slide controls up here and an inverter control, and your tanks are heated. All Winnebagos, you're going to notice if you ever look at the floor in these things, solid floor because they're taking the heat out of your subfloor. What that does is it protects you as far as insulation, but it also helps keep that temperature control good for the wintertime, right? None of their water lines are going to be exposed on the outside of this thing, and they have the tank heater to mean that if you want a true 4-season, all year round camp ability, this is going to allow you to do it. Now, if you really are camping below freezing for an extended period of time, there's more precautions and things that you should talk about. But for those of us who live in Texas, like McLean's, we're here in Texas and Oklahoma, pretty much year round, you're good to use this as long as when you are using it in the wintertime, you keep that tank heater on and run your furnace. You do have your 15K BTU AC up top in the roof. That is a fully ducted air conditioner. Even though this is a smaller RV, they do like to give you the ability to choose where you want your airflow. Now, when we move into the bedroom, I'm going to kind of step aside. I want you all to see this, and I'll talk about it myself. So you have a walk-around queen bed in your bedroom. You do have a secondary TV accessible for you. You've got both overhead cabinetry, as well as when we first walked in, if you didn't catch it, you do have a very large closet accessible both inside and outside the room. Now, when it's just me and my fiance, we've got plenty of room to camp and plenty of ability to open and access things as we need. But for those who have visitors, and if you're nicer than me and bring more friends along, you do have that sliding door to close off your personal space. So during the daytime, or if maybe someone just needs to take a nap back here, they can close this off and have their own privacy. I do also like that they do this in this floor plan, and the reason I say that is if you look behind me, you'll see that the bathroom here, it's cut into the corner, right? You still have a nice standing walk-in shower. It's got the sliding door on the Nautilus style, so that self-squeegees and mold mildew removal is kind of built into it. Plenty of cabinetry, but one thing I always tell people is, like, if I'm in here and I wanted to change, right? The nice thing is, now that the bedroom has its own sliding door, if I don't want to close off the bathroom, I could change in here, keep that door closed, and you get that extra privacy without having to close off and tighten the bathroom area. Now, for those who wanted to see what it looks like, it's still simple, nice and sliding door, and then there's a strong magnet that allows you to cordon off the bathroom space. Even when you're inside this, it doesn't feel like claustrophobic, right? They're still giving you plenty of walk-in space, and it's a full-size bathroom, but this allows them to do that in a smaller total box, and I like my space, so I'd probably change out here. But that's just one option, and I like personally that aspect of this RV. Now, the queen bed, that's going to be sitting on a slide, so you will notice that the mattress does flip up to go on top of itself. When that slide comes in, that's kind of what it's going to look like when you are driving down the road. A lot of people have asked me, hey, can we utilize this space still? Is that okay? It's not going to hurt if something's sitting on it. A lot of times it's going to be like dogs, or maybe if you got like a little one who wants to sit on it without pushing the slide out, that's going to be okay. But for sleeping purposes, I would really prefer go ahead, park, pull it, slide out, throw the bed down, get nice and cozy, and you're good to go. A few other features to talk about on the inside. Obviously in the kitchen, if you didn't catch it when we were walking into the bedroom, you do have this nice extending counter space, so that'll just snap in, gives you more workspace. It does tighten this area, so you can kind of choose, do you want the space or do you want the kitchen space? Really nice. Another cool thing is, even when the slide comes in, the fridge is fully accessible. It will block off the oven and stove, but you're not usually, and you shouldn't legally be cooking anything with the propane when you're driving down the road. But if you need to access the fridge, grab a snack, you're good to do so. Those recliners, if you didn't notice when I was sitting in them, are going to be so large. Again, 190 pounds on a good day. I've got plenty of room in here. If you're larger, it's fantastic. If you're smaller, you're gonna feel like you're the tiny little kid in here. You got cup holders for both seats, as well as what I like to call the remote hider. So if you got dogs or kids, you can put stuff in there. Inside, it's hard to see, but it does have actual power as well for your phone's accessories. On the outside, I'll talk about that from in here, and they'll probably voice over this so you can see it in the video, but Winnebago gives you a couple things that are optional on their Mini Winnies. This one that we're sitting in is going to come with those options. That's going to be full body paint and the auto level system. So full body paint, you'll see on the outside, it's going to be beautiful. They've got like a silver gray exterior. Big benefit of full body paint is that it's going to last you longer over time, less maintenance to upkeep it. You know, it's essentially automotive paint, like what you would put on your car. So in the same way that you'll see the decal version, which try and see if we can put a video or a little quick scan of the decal version up as well so you can compare. That's still going to last awesome and well, but decals over time can fade if you don't use any form of sun protection. Thinking like buffing, waxing, clear coating the RV, or parking it under cover. So if you are going to be getting more sunlight, or if you just want a prettier RV, this full body paint option is going to be an awesome option to add on to the Mini Winnie. And we do have ours. If you call in, you can find out any given time which models we have. We can order them if you want the version that's not here. So full body paint or decals, that's an option. Keep that in mind, right? It does increase the price, but it also increases the value. So that is a nice thing for resale down the road. The other option I talked on real quick is just auto level. Being that this is a 26-foot box, it's up for debate to people on whether or not this length needs auto level. Personally, it's something I like to have. Right? If you're parking it at a campsite, most of the conventional campsites, I've touched on my style camping. I'm going to go to a place that's probably already level, so I won't really need it. But if you are going out a little bit more into the woods, you're going to use your generator and your onboard water instead of being hooked up at a normal campsite. Auto level is going to allow you to park this in an ideal situation or in a spot that's not quite level, and that'll take care of it. So even though you might feel each other walking around inside the room, you're not going to see your RV rolling, moving too much when you're at the campsite. It's all level. It helps your water tanks out. That helps the fridge out. Again, is it necessary? No. Is it nice to have? Yes. And again, that's going to add to both the cost of purchase, but it's going to add value to your RV, so it would be worth more on the resale side. Outside of that, we did kind of touch, this is the 7.3 liter V8. On the engine side, Ford is starting to equip the Mini Winnies through Winnebago with things like adaptive cruise. They're going to come with the extended mirrors for your side mirrors. I really like Winnebago has the blind spot cameras, and on their blind spot cameras they actually put them on the mirror instead of on the side of the RV. What that means for you is that when you do turn on the turn signal on one of these, you're going to get a clearer side view. Here, I'll try and see if I can scan this, where if I turn on the right side, you see the whole side of the RV. Right now, obviously, we're parked next to another RV and a golf cart, so I probably wouldn't move around right now. But that clear, clean view is going to be great, especially if you're passing like an exit ramp or an on-ramp. You want to make sure no motorcycles or anything in there. It's a more natural angle, and it's a better camera for you. It does have the rear view camera as well, and the adaptive cruise is probably going to be my favorite feature. So there's a lot to talk about, plenty of things to love. You've got everything that you've been used to and known about Winnebago from the past. The Minnie Winnie and the 2016 model, it's a great option. Again, coming in under 30 feet with the chassis we all know and love, the pulling capacity, and the Winnebago quality. It's a great RV coming from a great dealer. If you want a great price, you need to call me. My name's Bear. I'm down at McLean's RV in Corinth, Texas. We'll throw my number on the screen. This is the 2025 Winnebago 2060.